Hey, it's event producer Josh Schoenwolf, and you're listening to Philadelphia's hottest inspirational talk show, Millennial High, hosted by the amazing Tia Shasha High.
It's your girl, Tia Shasha High, the host of Millennial High, where the trend-setting millennial comes for motivation, inspiration, and deep conversation. On today's show, I have the founder of Moguls and Media in the studio, Darcel Laurie. Hey, girl.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Listen, she just wrote this amazing book. I love it so much. And I'm like, Darcel, you have to come on and talk about your book. The title is amazing. It's Tired of One-Night Stands with Success. I Want a Fully Committed Relationship. So she'll talk to us about what it's like to be a first-time author and what exactly is a one-night stand with success. And then how do we get out of that? Say we want more.
Yes.
Yes, right? And a little bit about Millennial High. This show serves as a platform for those who want to inspire and provoke others to take action towards living their purpose in life. So if you have an inspirational, uplifting, thought-provoking message you want to share with the millennials of the world, I want you. Be on the show. Message me on IG or on Facebook at Millennial High, or email me millennialhigh@gmail.com, and let's connect. But first, as I like to do, is set the mood for the show. And since we're talking about one-night stands with success,
yes,
I'm going to play Kalani. She has a song that I absolutely love called Escape, and I feel like it's pretty much the beginning of any relationship, right? Even with success, it's kind of like you see other people doing, you're like, oh, that actually looks good. I think I might want success, right? So let's play a little bit of Escape, Kalani. And then we'll come back with Darcel Laurie.
Yeah.
And we are back. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to 106.5 FM Millennial High. I'm your host, Tia Shasha High, and I'm in the studio with Darcel Laurie, my girl. I love this girl.
I'm so glad to be back. Thank you for having me.
Now, Darcel, she's been on the show a few times, and I know everyone knows her in the city because she throws like amazing events and workshops. But just a little background on who Darcel is. She is a multimedia journalist right here in Philadelphia, which I love. I'm so happy I connected with her. You can see a lot of her work published in Sheen Magazine, Industry Rules Magazine. She's made appearances on Fox 29 Philly. She's been featured on WDAS 105.3, Power 99, Lucky Magazine, online, and so much more. Darcel is an entrepreneur. She's launched Moguls and Media, LLC, in January 2016. And let me tell you, I feel like Moguls and Media has been around for so long because it's such a staple. I can't believe it's only been 2016.
Only 2 years and some change. That's it.
Wow. All right, so I know I didn't do you justice, so tell the people a little bit about who you are.
Oh, you did an excellent job. But I'm a multimedia journalist. That's kind of how I got started in this industry. First I just started off blogging, submitting my blogs, and then the first magazine to pick me up was Lucky Magazine. And at that time, that was like super epic to be able to have that opportunity. And that got my foot in the door to be able to go to New York Fashion Week, interview designers, celebs, all of that great stuff. I got the opportunity to be an extra on Lala's Food Court Life. That was the premise, I would say, the beginning of, we'll talk more about Tired of One Night Stands with Success. But that opportunity just literally changed my life. And now being an entrepreneur for over 2 years, that's been amazing. Taking that leap of faith. And then now being an author, I'm still letting that sink in. Like, wow, author? So that's crazy.
I ordered and I received my my signed copy of One Night Stand with Success in the mail. I'm like, oh, I got it. And I was so happy. But once I picked, first of all, so when Darcel was on my show last year at some time, I think it was actually last year around this time.
Yeah, probably.
And she talked about having a book, like you were in the process of writing it, and it was this really great concept. And when you told me what the title was, I'm like, done. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. So let's talk about Tired of One Night Stands with Success. What is a one night stand with success?
So, Tired of One Night Stands with Success was birthed out of my one night stand with success. I've told this story at my book launch that was on March 8th, and I basically said, I always feel like when your back is against the wall, you're forced to get creative. And the time that I actually started writing the book, I was unemployed. I was trying to find a job. I mean, literally 9 to 5, my job was finding a job. Still had bills coming in every month, still had to pay car notes, still had to pay rent, all this kind of stuff. And it was a very dim time for me, but I submitted this, I guess I answered this question and I submitted in email form. And didn't think nothing of it, sent this email off, and just kept on going on with my job search. Within 45 minutes, Lala Anthony's producers called me and said, hey, would you like to be, on the show? And
Awesome.
I was like, what? So that was the beginning of this journey where when I walked into that room, I truly was exposed to a whole new world I knew existed, but I didn't think I would be in those type of rooms or those type of circles. And a lot of times we only can go as far as our exposure.
Right.
So what we don't know, we don't know. And so to be able to say, man, God put me here. Like, I'm with producers, execs, I'm with editor-in-chiefs. I'm like, whoa. Life just got a whole lot bigger, and I went home forever changed and said, you know what? It's about to go down. If God allowed me to be in one of these rooms, he's going to allow me to be in another room, and another room, and another room. So literally that night, I was sitting on my couch, still, in the same predicament. And I said, man, I'm tired of one night stands with success. And I said, ooh, that's a great title. And I just started writing. But the premise of Tired of One Night Stands with Success is almost like my Cinderella story, where, she gets to dance with the prince and all this stuff. And then at midnight, the clock strikes, her carriage is turned into a pumpkin, and it's back to reality. But then for so many of us, it's always back to reality. And it's like, why can't we have an actual relationship with success?
I love it.
So.
I love that. And I feel like so many of us, even myself and those listening, can relate, because to me, I feel like that's when you aren't living your dream, and that's not like your everyday gig. Then it's kind of like you have these moments of like where you're doing what you love and then it ends.
Yes.
So so the one line, I was just like, oh my God, this girl is hilarious.
Yes.
You're like, you say, I had this like amazing night, like interviewing with celebrities, doing this and doing that. And then the next day I was right back in my cubicle.
Yes,
I was dying.
yes. I actually was working at this call center, literally making like $100 a week. Like, it was horrible. And people were like, what are you doing here? And I was like, it's so hard to find a job. You would think that I had all these credentials. I have a 12-year career in social services, my background's in psychology. You would think I can find a job like that. But I had to take odds and end jobs. And just like, being in, having my one night stand with success, I was right back to a cubicle answering, hi, this is the Philadelphia Inquirer. How can I help you? So, and literally making like $100 like a week.
And that's another thing. So what prompted you to send that initial email? Because I know you get into that in the book, but what made you say, you know what, enough is enough? Like, I'm just going to send this email. Like, what was it?
So I literally went ham trying to find a job, and I was sending emails everywhere. And then I saw on Twitter, Twitter, I've gotten so many opportunities from Twitter. People sleep on Twitter, but Twitter is where it's at.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yes. And they posted this question. Lala Anthony posted this question, who inspires you? And said, submit your answer to this email. I just literally didn't think nothing of it and said, you know what? Let me just kind of write who inspires me and see, and I chose my mom, and just seeing her journey and see how strong she is and how she's made it through all these hurdles. and literally didn't know what was going to come out of the email. But that opened my eyes to say, Darcel, we're about to send a whole bunch of more emails. I'm about to start sliding in people's DMs. Right. I was like, because one, you don't get just one opportunity. There's so many other opportunities. Right. You just have to go after them. So that like opened my eyes that, okay, it's going down.
So talk a little bit about the layout of your book, which I love.
Yes.
So I don't know if you wanted to get into like the chapters. Like I love your chapter titles and I love the progression of it. So if you want to talk more about the concept behind it, because the concept of it.
Yes. So the whole book is kind of like a play on relationships versus success. So talking about, my first chapter, kind of show these people on the Instagram live. My first chapter is where we met. So it talks about where you met your idea. What was that moment that you had this aha moment? Mm-hmm. What was that pivotal moment in your career that you said, I need to be doing this? And a lot of times people have these aha moments, but then they sleep on them.
Yep.
They put a shit to the side. Mm-hmm. They said, that's a great idea, but then they forget about it or they write it down and then they sleep on it. Mm-hmm. So I talk about, where we met, and then obviously kind of like a play on relationships. Everyone loves to hear that story of where you met. Right. Where you met your boo, your significant other. Everyone loves to hear that story, but we don't share that story of where we met our idea. And then, of course, after you meet your idea, you have to have a first date with it. So that's my second chapter, is first date. And that's like sitting down with your idea, brainstorming, maybe piggybacking, bouncing ideas off of other people, just really trying to see how you can formulate this idea and make it a reality. So I kind of go down, then I go to no callback, because sometimes we go on these dates, ladies.
Right.
And I'm sure gentlemen experience this too, but where we go and we think it's just, this date was amazing, and then we get no text, we get no call, and we're like, what happens? And so I talk about no callback because that happens in, with success, in your relationship with success as well. Because you know how many times I've submitted pitches, emails, and I get crickets. Nothing happens, and you're like all prepared. You're like, oh, I know this person is going to love this idea. And you get no callback.
Right.
So I talk about the different phases. I talk about the Mr. Right Now. That's chapter 4, where basically, a lot of times we think that everyone's going to go with us to the top.
Yeah.
So we want, our friends, our family, everyone, how Drake says, started from the bottom, now we here, all my day ones, right? Yes. So we want all of our day ones to go to the top with us. But sometimes your day ones, you started from the bottom, now you hear people are sometimes going to be at different levels with you, but they may not be able to make it all the way to the top with you. And that I talk about, be okay with Mr. Right Now or Miss Right Now, where, they just may be in your life for a season to, just inspire you, empower you, or introduce you to someone who can now take you to the next level, or give you, some advice that can help you take your business to the next level or your idea to the next level. So be okay with Mr. Right Now.
I like that, because even with the whole Mr. Right Now or Mrs. Right Now, to me, I feel like that holds true for ideas too, like what you're saying, because sometimes we hold so close to this idea of who we're supposed to be that, no, maybe for that point in time that suited you, but now you've grown, and now it's time to like up the ante.
Absolutely.
Right? I love that.
Yes. And that's something I had to learn though, because I would get so emotional when people wouldn't go with me. So like when I first started hitting like the ground running and going to New York, back and forth to networking events, covering events, and I wanted my friends to come with me, like, come with me to New York. And they're just like, girl, I got this to do, every excuse in the book. And I was heartbroken. And as I started my business, I thought they would be the first ones to share my flyer, to promote it for me. And I have those friends, but I have some other friends that have never been to one of my events. And I had to realize, like, Darcel, that's just not their world.
Right.
You know, that's just not their lifestyle. So they may be cheering for you, you know, but they're just not going to share your flyer.
Right.
You're just not going to, you know, invite people to come out to your events. And
let me tell you, that's like mastery right there, because it does hurt.
Yes.
It's like, wait, you haven't, like, for me, it's like, wait, you haven't heard one of my shows yet? You know what I mean? I kind of feel like, so, but then you're right, it's not their world.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you're passionate about it and you're doing it doesn't mean that they're passionate about it too. Like, what you connect on and what you're friends on are two different things.
Yes.
You know? So, oh my gosh. So, I want to go back to, I can't remember, I had it, if you look, I have like all these bookmarks.
I love it.
But I didn't bookmark this one. This is when I started reading it, but I know how it made me feel. When you started talking about, like, when you have that one, I thought we had a call. When you had that
call in,
one,
people.
Oh,
call
yeah,
in.
definitely. You can definitely call in. It is 215-923-9776 and ask Darcel anything. No.
Yes, I'm very transparent. Join the conversation, guys. 215-923-9776. I have people on IG that can call in. Yeah.
Awesome. So, and you were talking about, like, how good it felt for the first time, like the first time, like, you meet someone and it's new and you're not thinking about all their faults, but you know, you're just thinking about like all the great things. Mm-hmm. Like I'm like, she was spot on with that.
Yes.
All right. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like what you meant by?
So going back to like where you met, it's so pure,
mm-hmm.
you know, and when you talk about where you met, you know, a significant other, you know, like you said, you're excited, you know, you're just like, oh my gosh, he's so fine. He's so charismatic. He's sweet. You think about all these great qualities and traits. But when it comes to success, you know, when we have these great ideas, we're so excited. We're fired up and we're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then the moment that you share it with someone that is maybe not on that level of thinking,
mm-hmm.
it just taints the whole thing. Because if their feedback is like, girl, that's crazy, or girl, you know, and it's truly allowing the purity of where you met your idea to kind of stay there. I talk about in the book, protecting your dream.
Yeah.
You have to protect your dream. So when you date success, you don't share, you know, with everyone, you know, and like I always say, you know, you have your girlfriends that you'll share, okay, girl, this would happen on a date, and this would happen, and this would happen, and then there's people that I don't share with. So I know my boundaries, and the same thing with success. You have to know your boundaries. There's people that I love to death, but I don't share any of my processes. I don't share any of my thinking when it comes to business. I just share about, you know, the latest movie, or, you know, Wakanda Forever, you know, whatever. I talk about those type of things. I know the different things and the different conversations to have with people.
And it's such a buzzkill.
Yes.
Because, you know, you have this great idea, like you say, it's like your baby, like, oh my God, it's so great. And then you share it. And it's not like we're being naive, though. It's not like we're being naive, where it's kind of like if someone says something wrong, we're like, no, that's not right. But we're like you're saying, you're protecting your dream. So for instance, if you share something with someone and the first thing they think are the 5 things that can go wrong, it's like, okay, wait, can I just be a little excited about this dream right now? Like, I have this idea, it's going to work, and you must not know me that well.
Exactly. And it's like the same thing when you go on a date, and, you know, on a romantic date, and then they'll talk about, so girl, was he late? And you're like, can I just enjoy that the date was fun? You know, like, girl, I don't know if that's going to work out. You better watch him. And I'm like, can I just enjoy it? Give me 2 seconds. Like, I haven't been on a date in a while. You know, so the same thing when it comes to success. Like, let me be in the moment and enjoy it. Yeah.
Not something like, oh, you know, how are you going to have all that time to do this?
Yes.
Like, oh my God. Right. I love it so much. All right. So moving on. There is this one thing that I have where I want you to, before we go to the first break and I start taking calls, I want you to go to your favorite chapter. Like, what's your favorite? I know it's your baby and it's hard to choose one.
It's hard to choose. I've been asked this several times. What is your favorite chapter? And I think I just, every chapter is amazing, because it's a part of who I am and the journey. But I'll go with two chapters that I really love. To Thyself Be True. That's chapter 8. I think that is super, super important. When you're taking that leap of faith, or when you're stepping out on your dream, or whatever it is that you define as success, you have to be an original. You have to be you.
Mm-hmm.
And don't look to the left or to the right of you. To thyself be true. And that's super important, because a lot of times we look at competition and we look like, oh, but he's here at that level and I'm not. And I'm like, you can't look at that. You have to look at your journey and stay true to yourself. How someone else gets there is not going to be how you get there. And you have to be, true to thyself. So, and then I love that chapter, because that's super, super important for your journey. And then keeping it spicy.
Yeah, I love that one.
That's my favorite.
That makes me smile. You got to keep it spicy.
Yes.
I like that. Before you talk about keeping it spicy, I want to talk about what is like one tip that you would suggest for the listener to, to thy own self be true. What is one thing that they could do? Like, I know it's easier said than done. Like, it's so easy to say, don't worry about what the next person's doing, but it's hard to miss it, because when you're on social,
everybody's got the highlight reel.
Something exactly. So then, how can you navigate the social media landscape without comparing yourself?
So you have to do the work, in the sense of being comfortable with who you are and what your success looks like. And until you're happy with yourself, you are going to look to the left and the right of you. And it truly comes down to doing the self-work, the inner work, and allowing yourself to have grace, and allowing yourself to fall, allowing yourself to get back up, allowing yourself to make mistakes, because social media is only the highlight reel. I may be posting something as I'm crying. I may be posting something as I'm going through it. But of course, I'm not going to show that on social media. I'm only going to show, oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm doing that. Oh, I'm doing this.
True.
But, everyone has a journey, and it's so important to know that what looks like on the outside, it truly is not that way. But know that it takes hard work to get where you want to be, and you have to be willing to grind. And if you like someone else's journey, you got to grind 10 times harder than them if you want to have the success that they have. So you got to outwork them.
Work.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about keeping it spicy.
Yes. So keeping it spicy, I absolutely love that chapter. And it's definitely writing that was pretty fun. But I talk about, when you're in a romantic relationship, it can get a little stale sometimes, get a little comfortable after you've been together a while, and you're like, okay, that you're on the same routine. I see you on Fridays, or I see you this day. We go here, we go there. So it can sometimes become a routine.
Right.
So at some point, you have to keep it spicy and switch it up, keep the romance there, keep that flame going, and, do all the things that you did when you first did to get into the relationship, right?
Oh, right. Yes.
So when it comes to your relationship with success, when we're on our journey, sometimes we can be on autopilot. Because you're working, grinding. And then you get to a point where you're just like, why did I start this again? And because there's nothing, in the beginning it's exciting and you're like, yes. But then after you go through all these hurdles, after you just feel like all I do is I'm stuck on my laptop and that's it and nothing's happening. Or, all I am doing is sending out these emails and creating these.
Right.
And you're just like, you get stuck on autopilot.
Right.
So I wrote the chapter, Keep It Spicy, because in your relationship with success, you have to challenge yourself. So the moment that you start to feel that it goes stale, you have to say, all right, I need to up the ante. What do I need to do to say, or to make it spicy, to take myself to another level? Do I need to network more? Do I need to, do a webinar? Do I need to start a podcast? Do I need to, whatever it is, do I need to do Facebook Lives more? Do I need, whatever it is, do I need to get a mentor? Find what it is to keep your relationship spicy with success so it doesn't grow stale or stagnant.
I love it.
Yeah.
So give us a call. Let us know how you keep it spicy or how you stay true to yourself. In the meantime, though, I'm going to play this song that I heard the other day on BPM. I'm not going to lie, I don't even care what anyone says. I love house music. I
I
love
do too.
electronic. Yeah, I love it. So this is one of my songs. I was going to play something else, but I definitely want to play with this conversation. It's called Find Yourself, and I really love it, and I hope you do too. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Yay.
And we are back. We're back. And I'm not going to play this song just yet. I love this song now. This is Gigi D'Agostino, L'amour toujours, I'll Fly With You. This is my song back in the day. But we are back. If you're just tuning in, you are listening to Millennial High. I'm your host, Tia Shasha High. I'm in the studio with Darcel Laurie. My girl, she is the author of Tired of One Night Stands with Success. I want a fully committed relationship. I know we are all tired of one night stands with success.
Yes.
And I say this, and I'm going to say it again. Best concept ever. Best book ever. And I was telling someone this morning. I'm like, you know what? I read a lot of like inspirational books, like, you know, books to help you, you know, feel like motivated to get out there and do your thing. Books that give you like tips and tricks on how to be an entrepreneur, how to make your dreams happen. And this was the best read. I'm 100%, I'm being so honest. I'm like, this is such a great book. And like, I can't wait to see you on like Oprah or something. Like,
yes, I receive it.
Right. We have a call coming in. So I'm just going to send them through.
Yay.
Hi, caller, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can hear you.
Hey, how are ya?
I'm good. Is this Tia?
This is Tia, and you are on the line with Darcel Laurie. Say hey to Darcel.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for calling in.
No problem.
What do you think about... Go ahead.
I just wanted to start by saying congratulations on the book. I love the play on words. It was something that everybody can absolutely, positively relate to, which is great. I would love to read your book.
Yes. And what's your name? I didn't get your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Pasha.
Hey, Pasha. I believe we follow each other, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes. Thank you so much for calling in. Yes, you can definitely get your hands on the book on Amazon or onenightstandswithsuccess.com.
Okay,
but did you have a question?
I do. Actually, I have two questions for you. So my first question was, during your journey, did you work full-time? And my other question is, did you have a specific game plan laid out? Or did you just know that this is something that you just, you know, that you knew that you wanted to do ever since you were a child? And, you know, as, you know, the opportunity rose, then you just knew what you had to do, and it just came natural. You just had to just, you know, I guess pretty much play by ear, and everything just fell into your lap.
So, yes. So, as a child, I honestly, or even 10 years ago, I wouldn't have thought I would be an author today. I've always been a writer, always loved journaling and things like that. But I honestly, when you're kind of growing up in a society where they tell you you have to have a 9 to 5 and that's it, I didn't know that, you know, being an author was something that I can do. I knew other people did that, but I didn't know it was something for me. So truly, as I, you know, went upon my journey in my career, and I do believe sometimes, you know, you can evolve as a person. And I know for me, I'm a career changer. So I was, you know, 12 years in the education system here in Philadelphia and the social services system. Yep. So that was my career. That was what I was doing. And then from there, you know, as I, you know, got more exposure to different things, I decided, you know what? I need to take more chances on myself, and that's when I decided to write a book. I sat on it for a while, believe it or not, and then I said, you know what, Darcel, you have to put this book out. Because every time I told someone the concept, they were like, oh my gosh, when can I get it? And I was like, Darcel, you have to put this book out. So finally I got to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm going to, you know, research on how I need to put a book out, because I'd never done that before. And it all came together. There was times that I worked full time and did my entrepreneur journey. And then there was times that I went full on entrepreneur. So it truly comes down to the individual. I'm not the type of person to say everyone just jump and go after it, in the sense of not having a plan, not having, because everyone's situations are different. You know, some people can afford to, they have enough savings, they have enough this or that. Some people have kids, so they may not be able to because they need, you know, the health insurance for their kids. So there's so many things that can lead to being a full-time entrepreneur and the decisions that you have to make. But I truly believe that's on a case-by-case basis. But what I will say is definitely, if that's your goal, develop an exit plan. You know, you don't have to stay at your job forever, but you just need to find out what is my exit plan and how do I get there.
I love that. And so one question, Pasha, before we let you go.
Sure.
So how do you keep it spicy as far as your career, or
Exactly.
how not that spicy, but how do you keep it spicy as far as your career, or how do you stay true to yourself when navigating your dreams and on social media?
That's a great question.
Either one. So just a little, just think about it, because I know you have some things. Just one thing.
What do you currently do now, Pasha?
Well, I'm a nurse.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it is. And I think for me, I'm still trying to decide what my dream is. I think, you know, when I was growing up, you know, I grew up in a time where, you know, your choices were nurse, doctor, secretary, lawyer.
Yeah.
So I took one of those routes, and I'm happy with it, but I still feel that I can do more. And I still feel like there's more that I have to offer. So I think I'm just trying to pretty much, because I like to plan. I'm a planner. So I'm just trying to figure out what my strengths and my weaknesses are and what my passions are. And then I'm just going to try to branch out from there, you know, because I feel like life is too short.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely. And I think that, you know, we can all have, and like I said, my career was in social services and education, so we all can have, you know, a career path that we start off doing.
Right.
But then, you know, if we evolve as people, why would, you know, and we all the time, oftentimes people limit themselves to say, I only can do this for the rest of my life. No, if we evolve, like, I can change it up. I can keep it spicy and say, no, this is something else I'm passionate about, and I'm going to choose that. Like, both of I relate to the nursing because I actually started off in nursing school because both of my parents are nurses. So I was like, all right, well, that's going to be the path I go to.
Right.
But I changed that up, and I said, you know what, my background was in psychology, so then I changed that up, and then I'm changing again, and I feel like you continue to grow in your you grow into the person you're becoming. You know, don't limit yourself.
Perfect.
But good for you too.
True.
Good for you too, Pasha. I'm gonna let you go because we have another caller. But
I'm sorry.
But we can. I know you want to hang out.
Calling. I'm so excited that you called.
Great advice. Now I really feel motivated.
Yes, pick up the book and definitely take a picture, a selfie, so I can repost it.
Great idea, Darcel.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Bye, Tia.
See ya. So thank you for calling. I know I have some messages here, people trying to get through.
Yes,
so
we were trying to see that.
We love you for the call. Thank you so much. But I know one thing that is interesting to me. A lot of us do that. I know myself included, where there was a time when I felt like I had just that one career path and that's all I could do.
Yes.
And this hopes to be behind the mic was just a dream, you know, especially with the daughter. Like you said, being a single mother, you need health insurance, right? So you just can't just go up and like leave your job like that. But I like the exit plan idea. That's such a great thing. And then, we'll work on that. So I think that might actually be a show, how to write an exit plan. Like, what does that even look like? Right.
And everybody has a different exit plan. Everybody has, like, I love Taraji P. Henson's testimony where she had her child, and with $600, she up and moved to California and started her dream. So everyone has a different experience. You have to do what's best for you. And a lot of times we have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to say, you know what? I'm going to sleep on someone's floor for maybe 6 months to a year, and I'm okay with that. You have to be okay with that. If you think that this doesn't come with sacrifice, it comes with all the sacrifices in the world. And it's just up to us. How much are we willing to sacrifice? Everybody's journey looks different.
That's so true. Sacrifice, I used to not like that word for so long, but now I understand exactly what it means as regards to entrepreneurship.
Yes.
But, okay, we have another caller.
Yay,
Just
another caller.
one. Let me just put it through. Hello? Hi, this is Tia Millennial High. We have Darcel on the studio.
Hey.
And what's your name?
Hi, my name is Brooke. Hi, Darcel. Hi, Tia.
Hey,
Hi,
Brooke. How are you?
I'm excellent. How about yourself?
Good.
Doing great.
So,
Awesome.
so you have a question for Darcel or a comment?
I do. I do have actually two questions. Congratulations, by the way, on your book.
Oh, thank
I'm so
you.
happy for you.
Thank
No
you.
problem. You said something earlier about most people know what they know, and they don't know what they don't know, right?
Correct.
So how, I'm an aspiring writer,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in the process of writing a play, my first, right?
Congrats.
So thank you. And I'm just curious, how can we get to know what we don't know is what I'm asking.
Yes.
So what's the process?
So you have to expand your network. You have to expand. Right. So you have to get around people who are doing exactly what you want to do. Yeah. And a lot of times, I always say your network is your net worth. And truly, 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 the only way that I started to expand my thinking is that I got around people who didn't think like me. You have to be willing to get into the room with people who challenge your thinking and who are truly doing, above and beyond what you want to be doing in order to be able to say, you know what, in order to expand your mind, expand your concepts, that is so important, is to expand your network.
And that's so true. There was a part in your book, and I'm trying to flip through it to look through it now. But I know you said that when you start getting invited to different events, and when you start getting and going places and meeting people who aspire to be exactly what you are trying to be, or they are that, then you know you're on the right track. Right? Yes. So it's about getting in the room, Brooke.
Yes,
it sounds
you have to get in the room. Or do you currently hang around other writers?
I do not. I think that's my problem.
Yes, you have to hang around other writers.
Right. Yeah, I've been looking at workshops and cafes and stuff, but I just haven't had a chance. And I think I'm procrastinating because I'm almost finished the play. And I think it's a nervous and a fear thing, because it's once I'm finished, then I have to actually do something about it. So I think that's where I'm at. And I'm trying to figure out how to get past that point. So it's
no, we all procrastinate, so you're not by yourself. All of us have those moments that we procrastinate and put things off. But what I will say is you need to go to more networking events when it comes to writers. You need to get a part of writing groups. There are sometimes plenty of writing groups on Facebook and things like that. Find if there's some meetups with other writers. I know I'm a part of several meetups with writers and stuff like that. You have to get around other people who are writing and doing what you love. So that way you guys can help each other expand, one another's thinking and challenge each other. Because if we think that we're going to be successful all by ourselves, we're completely fooled. Yep. Because you have to be able to in order to climb your way to the top, you have to be able to put yourself out there and allow other people to feed and pour into your life.
Absolutely. And that's one reason why I joined this creative community at Philly Cam, because I knew that there are other people who have ideas and they don't like to leave them as an idea. Yeah. They want to see, that manifestation of it. Yes. And I know being around this community that I would get that too, and I'd be held accountable. Yes. So it's important. So one thing to me, Brooke, you need an accountability partner.
Yes. Yes. Because I have one. Believe it or not, I do have an accountability partner, and we check in with each other every single week to make sure we're doing what we need to be doing. So it's important. You could do it. You can definitely do it, Brooke.
Right, I can't
wait. It's so nerve-wracking, though, but thank you very much.
You're welcome. And then let us know, slide in our DMs, and let us know how everything is coming along.
I definitely will. Thank you so much.
Right.
You guys have a great day.
You too. Thanks for the call. Bye.
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 Yeah, I mean, you made a great point, Darcel. I'm telling you, that's a big thing too. Is just that we kind of play that fear game a little bit and have a relationship with fear more than success.
Yes.
Especially when you know you have to now produce a product because you know when you're done, you're just not gonna want it to sit there.
And you know what's funny? The time when I first started my business, Moguls in Media, I actually, the way that I held myself accountable is I posted a flyer and said, everyone, launch date is such and such date. Because there was no turning back from there. Once it's out in social media, it's like everyone's holding you accountable to that has to come to pass. So sometimes it's throwing it out there and saying, and allowing everyone to hold you accountable on social media. Because once you post something, you better back it up. So, I posted, and that's how my launch came about. I backed it up, and I was like, oh, crap.
Right.
But you have to do it, and you have to. I love the advice that you gave, too. I know Joe was trying to go. But, yes, you definitely have to have an accountability partner.
Absolutely. Yeah, and so the line isn't busy anymore, so we have another call.
Yeah, Joe is trying to call in. I don't know if that's him, but.
Okay, let's see.
He's been blowing up my IG.
Oh, hello. Hey, you're on the line with Tia and Darcel.
Hey, Tia. Hey, Darcel.
Hey.
I was blowing up her IG.
Yes,
I know that.
right? I was like, hold on 1 second.
What's your name?
I made it in.
Yes.
Hey, Darcel. I'm very, very proud of you, first off. But I've got 3 questions. I'll be quick.
Okay.
When was the exact moment of when was your exact eureka moment? Like, I got it. You know, that's the first question. The second is, how long did it take you to finish it? Because I think your concept and the idea is unique. I love it. And then the last question is it too early to ask if you're considering a series around that concept?
So all great questions. Thank you for challenging me.
I love that question.
I
love that.
So I honestly never feel like I have it, to be honest with you. And I think most successful people always feel like there's another level to go. But I do feel like I'm not afraid anymore. And I'll say this in the idea of, or the premise of, once I saw that God, because I'm a very spiritual person, allowed me to be in certain circles and certain rooms once, I knew he would do it again, and I knew he would do it again. And truly, when I learned to be motivated by the no's, and that's in my book too. Before no's used to actually destroy me, and I used to be like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be successful and all that type of stuff, and that would hold me back. But then the moment that I said, I'm going to learn to be motivated by the no's, and that's only going to push me to go harder, that I never feel like I have a fully a grasp on everything, because we never know everything. But what I will say is I will go hard, as they say, hard in the paint. I will go hard in the paint, and I'm true to myself, and I definitely know who I am and know what I want. And I think when a person who knows who they are and know what they want out of life, they're unstoppable. So you have to definitely find out who you are and know what you want out of life. And then for me, I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid for someone to say no, because guess what? If you don't open the door for me, I will create my own door.
Right.
So that is definitely, with the book and with the business and all the different things that I've done, it's never perfect. It's always a process, but definitely I've learned so much through the process. But definitely a series is something that I've been actually sitting on right now, is like, okay, what are some of the things that I want to birth out of this book? Because definitely people, every time I start something, whether it's a business or a book, they're like, so when's the next thing? And I'm like, let me first get the first thing out. But definitely a series, something along that line, some workshops, some public speaking, a lot of that stuff is definitely going to be coming down the line. So thank you for your questions.
Good stuff. And you motivated me. I'll leave you with this. I've been working on a manuscript for a long time.
Awesome.
And, you just motivated me to finish it. So,
nice.
Thanks for taking my call, y'all. I appreciate it.
Of course, and definitely when you finish it, please let me know so I can find a way to support or anything like that.
Absolutely. Take care.
Thanks so much. Thanks for the call. Bye. That was amazing.
Amazing.
That was such a great question.
Yes.
A series. And you know what? The minute he said that, I just, in my mind, I see like TV. Like,
I receive it.
No, I'm telling you. I see like a little, like a 30-minute, like, drama around this or a sitcom or something, I don't know. I love it.
Yes.
I see something around this that you can do. This is so great.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much that like, this book has truly, it's put me in places and put me in rooms that I didn't think I would be, because I knew once this would come out, people would be excited about it. But it was about the process of getting it out. And now that it's here, I'm like, okay, what's the next step? So, definitely I'm excited for what's to come.
So it's oh my God. It's like 10 minutes of the show.
I know.
Over,
Time flies when you're
crazy.
having fun.
So what is next then? So what's the next thing for you, or the next event? Are you just like taking it low, doing book sightings? What is next?
So definitely what's next is more book signings. I'm definitely planning a tour. So, I definitely did a tour with my business. So, of course, I have to do a tour for the book.
Yes.
So definitely taking it to some major cities. So if you know a city that you would like it to be, have the book tour in, please let me know. Slide in my DM. Mm-hmm. I would love to come to your city. So definitely a book tour, definitely some more book signings, definitely some more media exposure, definitely some public speakings. I have like brunches coming up.
Yay! I love a brunch.
I definitely have some other public speaking engagements in like New York and things like that. So definitely make sure you follow me and follow the book, Tired of One Night Stands with Success, because I'm going to be busy and I'm moving. So at Darcel World for me, and One Night Stands with Success for the book. So follow us.
One thing you can leave the amazing listeners with, that they can take away from your book.
So a takeaway from the book, definitely, as we talked about so many different chapters, honestly, if you have a passion, if you have a dream, if you have something that you're going after, don't shy away from it. You never know how you're going to bless someone else with the talents and things that you have. So please go hard in the paint, go hard or go home. Don't shy away from your dreams. You only have one life. And honestly, you have to live it to the fullest. You don't want to live a life full of regrets. You don't want to live a life full of shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Yep.
You want to be able to put out there, things that you love and things that you want to wake up every day having purpose. You don't want to wake up every day. Too many people wake up every day just going through the motions. Like, oh, I have to go to work, or, oh, I'm sick of my job, or, I can't stand my boss. And it's that same routine. You have to do stuff that is for you. What do you do each day that benefits you and that makes you feel happy? That is sincerely what the definition of success is to me. No matter if it's a business or being a mom, what makes you happy? You have to do something every single day. So definitely, as you go on your journey with success, make sure you're making yourself happy and you're being true to thyself and you're challenging yourself to keep going to another level. Get around like-minded people. I promise you that you'll grow when you start getting around other people who are doing the things that you want to do. Yep. You cannot limit yourself. Success is not a one-person show. It takes so many people to influence your life and help you climb to the top. So don't think that this is a one-woman or one-man show. You have to be able to put yourself out there. So don't be afraid of that and keep going, guys.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Darcel.
You're so welcome.
It's so much fun having you on the show.
Yes, I love it.
I'm so thankful for you, honestly, truly. Next up is Delilah Robin, so stick around. I'm going to play something to get you up and start moving, to write that script, to finish that script. So it is the Magenta Rhythm, DJ Snake. I love it so much. I hope it gets you up and going. I love it. But first and foremost, I just want to say you said something that it just hit me in the heart. You were like, I'm not afraid anymore. And I was like, wow, just that line, that sentence, that was just amazing for me to hear. But I so thankful for all my listeners. I believe in you. Stay lit, love, inspired, and true. Until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye, everybody.